it's time to take a look at the stories making headlines in Nigerian newspapers. And with me in the studio is journalist Dari Odufowokon. Dari, good morning. Nice to see you after a while. Exactly. And then we also have joining us Obani Akinwale on Skype. Ni, good morning. It's good to see you.
Good morning. Same here, Mike.
Great. Okay, let's begin. Blueprint newspaper is where we're starting from this morning. Blueprint says, fear grips Nigeria over COVID-19 spike. Fayemi in, Ikpeazu out. As Fayemi is the governor of Ekiti State and Ikpeazu is the governor of Abia State. And it says, Kano cancels Eid Kabir activities. Bello orders Niger school kids, workers to stay at home. A multi-choice CEO must undergo test, as Reps is saying this. Okay, all this you see on the front page of the Blueprint newspaper. From there, let's go to the Daily Times. Daily Times says, as COVID-19 spreads, Sirika warns VIPs at airports. Okay, as COVID-19 spreads, Sirika warns VIPs at airports. Okay, from there, let's go to the Daily Trust. Daily Trust says state rehabilitation centers in ruins. Inmates abandoned by parents in Taraba, and erosion threatens Enugu Center. The lack of facilities aid drug addiction in Kaduna. Katsina Donate Center for NDLEA. And parents, governments not fair to those with special needs. A psychologist is revealing this. I'm sure certainly my guests will be interested in talking about this COVID-19 and all the related issues around it. All right, that's the Daily Trust. Leadership newspaper is next now, and it says Nigerian Press Organization names building after Isa Funtua. PMB ministers observe 1 minute silence at the FEC meeting in honor of the late media icon. He will be remembered for supporting women, Aisha Buhari saying this. And the APC governors, ACF, Arewa Consultative Forum, others paid tribute to Malam Isa Funtua. Okay, that's the leadership newspaper. The National Economy is next, and it says ease of doing business. Nigeria inches closer to Africa's investment hub. Experts optimistic federal government's economic reforms will attract more investment. Okay, the ease of doing business. A lot of people are really concerned about this. Nigeria inches closer to Africa's investment hub. All right. News Direct is the last one we're looking at now. Uproar as Ngige calls Faleke small boy at Reps hearing. All right. Uproar as Ngige calls Faleke small boy at Reps hearing. And nobody is above the scrutiny of the National Assembly, as the Senate President is saying that. When that video went viral yesterday, and a lot of people have been talking about it. It was an exchange between the minister and the committee members. All right, let's get into this. The stories on the front page of the Blueprint newspaper, the Daily Times newspaper, the Daily Trust newspaper points to one thing: COVID-19 and the impact on the people generally. Now, we've seen several governors have come down with COVID-19, and thank God they all recovered. But we have the governor of Ekiti State is the latest person now, latest governor now who is there. But there are also other Nigerians who are there as well. But the concern is, despite all of the enlightenment campaign, awareness creation here and there, people are still not adhering to the protocols. What bothers you? What's your great concern in this?
Yeah, it's really worrisome that you begin to consider the fact that when we had just a couple of numbers, 7, 8, we were all so worried, so scared.
Anxiety, there was panic everywhere.
We have thousands of cases. And it appears we all want to just go about our daily business as if nothing is happening. Anybody in his or right senses will be worried. And the question we keep asking is, who is at fault? Are we going to put this down to lack of enough orientation? Or is it that the government hasn't done enough to tell Nigerians the dangers involved in this? Or is it actually that the people are no longer bothered? it's questions that bothers the mind. But what I see there is we have a situation where people feel it's still far away from us. Because when we want to mention names, oh, this governor of this state is having COVID-19. The senator in this zone is. The ordinary men on the street, thousands of them are down with this virus.
Yeah, and who don't make headlines?
They don't make headlines. And they are the next man to the average Nigerian. They attend the same market. We visit the same malls. We work in the same offices. They are down. They were down. They are down. They've been treated. They are fine. They've been to isolation centers and back. But nobody knows. And then there is this feeling that, somebody was still saying it yesterday somewhere that this COVID-19 is actually the sickness of the rich when they announced fire emission. And I looked at this fellow. I know of at least 3 or 4 little children who have been to isolation centers and back. Children of average Nigerians.
And in fact, when the NCDC comes up with the figures every day,
and
then we're talking of 600, 500, 700.
Are you telling me they are all senators?
Exactly.
Or House of Reps
they can't
members,
all be VIPs.
The truth is, we all need to take responsibility. We will defeat COVID-19. But we only do in good time if we take responsibility.
Okay. Nee, let me bring you in here. Now, the point there is, I've asked this question somewhere before. Initially, when the COVID-19 pandemic started, a lot of people were in panic. There was anxiety in the air. There was fear. But the government and health experts said there is nothing to fear about. There's nothing to worry about. And that the fatality rate is just less than about 3%. So most likely, most of the people who come down with COVID-19 are going to recover and all of that. And people got used to it. Is it the backlash of that we are facing now, where no one is scared of COVID-19 anymore? People are just going about their normal business without necessarily having that thought of we need to protect ourselves and adhere to protocols.
Good morning once again, Mike. I think if I want to start, I would say what is happening currently is a reflection of the country as a whole. The PTF or Presidential Task Force on COVID comes out with some rules on what should be done, how it should be observed. But you and I will know that Nigeria has less than 0.5% trust in some people that govern us. Then leadership is always by example. If you look in terms of obeying those protocols set by the SGF-led PTF, they are mostly violated by government officials. Even let's take, for example, what is at the National Assembly at the moment. The PTF code says you cannot have a gathering of more than 20, and you have this number of space. I am sure TVC has those footages of the number of people at the gathering, and look at the drama that happened at Professor Oponde's fainting. You could see how people were clustered and what have you. See the cameramen in the building, see the member of the parliament, how closely they were well seen. So you ask yourself, is it worth it for you to believe this country? Then again, looking at the world itself as a global village, you look at the vituperation from the President of the United States of America, President Trump, look at the political puzzle between the WHO, China, Russia, UK, and what have you. And you ask yourself, in other climes, when they are shutting down their borders, they put in measures to ensure that they provide for the people, and also what is their testing capacity. You have a country that tests less than 300,000 and has a case of over almost 100-something thousand infected cases. So there is level of doubt. And when you see people filling out figures, people that are dying, the number that every year out, there is every reason for Nigerians to doubt. And an angry man is an angry man. No doubt about it, COVID is killing. But you look at the statistics by the WHO themselves in 2018 that says over 3.8 million South Africa died in year 2018 from malaria. So you have people have died in Congo and other countries from other diseases. This is not to say that COVID is not real or is not ravaged, but the system we have, the kind of leadership we have, make it so difficult for Nigerians to believe. And you can only sit at home, you can only believe these things if you have a means of livelihood. People that have lost their job, people that are not able to trade, the economists are just left the sense now that our forex is going down and what have you. So if you look at it by and large, it is not the disease of the rich. Then again, before now, you used to have an agency called MAMSA, which is now the NOAA. The sensitization there was so massive in all languages, radio stations, TV stations. But you look at what we have that is called NOAA these days, National Orientation Agency. I wonder what kind of orientation they are giving unto us. The information is not percolating, and even the mothers put those information, they are not trustworthy. So these are the concerns of Nigerians. And again, until government begin to build that level of trust, people will begin to why is the poor man not mentioned of having COVID? Why are houses in Nigeria not going to poor man houses that this is what they are suffering and this is how they have been able to go over it? Why is that the headlines are always full of the rich men, the governors, the senators, the who and who in the society? So you are left the poor man with no choice, on average with no choice, than to believe that it's reported for people that are rich. Most of the people that are dying are people that are rich. So it's a rich man disease. So nonetheless, I want to appeal to Nigeria that COVID is real, COVID is rampaging, COVID is killing, but government needs to do more.
Okay. All right. Dari, let me come to our constituency when it comes to publicity and awareness creation. One would say that a lot of that has gone, has gone out there. But others will also say that not enough is going out there, especially speaking in the language that people would understand. It seems much of the publicity is very elitist and is up there. We remember the days of MAMSA, like Nii just said. Every village, every clan in this country, there was a car that would come with, those speakers up there and then talk to you in your language, talk to you in your dialect, and everybody understood what all that is. Is that what we're supposed to do at this time originally?
Quickly, let me say that I want to excuse our constituency from any form of blame.
Why? Why is that?
I'm being realistic.
Okay.
The media in this fight against COVID-19 has done extremely well here in Nigeria, extremely well. But we must not forget the fact that we won't create the news. We will report what is created. Let's go back to the days of MAMSA and when NOAA was still NOAA. The reports by the media were being created by certain agencies of government. They go to the rural areas with programs, enlightenment programs, which the media goes there to cover and brings to people who are not in that particular area. The vans, the town criers, they carry out their functions in certain areas. The media goes there and still broadcast it. The newspapers write about it for others who were not opportune to listen.
To be there physically.
To be there physically. But where the agencies that should create news, where the agencies that should enlighten the people are not creating the content, what is it that you and I will broadcast or write about? Content creation in situations like this are guided. Even what you write, I want you to understand that it is my opinion that even if I know a man who went down with COVID-19 and came out of isolation, do you realize that I cannot just write about him?
Exactly.
But before leaving isolation, if government is serious about enlightening the public as they should, where are you from? He's from a rural area. They would get his consent, create the content, have him agree to, being discussed, being interviewed, being reported, making the job much more easier.
And impactful.
And impactful for all the media. But if I have to be the one to consult every of the 3,000 something cases to beg them to be interviewed, to plead with them to come out on camera, then it's going to be difficult. We should understand the fact that the government, beyond treating these people who are infected, also hold those of us who are still out there the duty of letting us understand how dangerous this virus is. And how will you do that? If all you tell me is about the senator who is down, about the governor who died of COVID-19, about the CEO, what about the ordinary man? Governments, federal, state, even the local government. And the agencies saddled with getting this done should look beyond the VIPs. Do you know, without knowingly or unknowingly, we have created the impression that this thing belongs to the rich or the high and mighty. We did that without knowing. The people looked at it and they can argue with you that every day they tell us of a senator, a House of Rep member, a governor. Have you heard of a market woman who went down with it? And I don't have evidence, truly. No evidence. I only know of a few who I happened to be aware of. And I'm not even bold enough to announce their names.
In fact, by law, sorry, by ethic, you cannot even broadcast
But
that.
if the agencies get that done, ready-made, and it's out there, we can use it.
All
right, let's head straight to the papers now, and I begin with the blueprint. Fear grips Nigeria over COVID-19 spike. Fire me in, Ikbazo out. Bello orders Nigeria's schools, kids, workers to stay home. Multi-choice CEO must undergo test reps. All right, we move to the front page of the Daily Times now. As COVID-19 spread, Sirika warns VIPs at airports. On the front page of the Daily Trust, state rehabilitation centers in ruins. Inmates abandoned by parents in Taraba. Erosion threatens Enugu Center. Lack of facilities aids drug addiction in Kaduna. Katsina donates center for NDLEA. Parents, governments not fair to those with special needs. Psychologists. And to the front page of the leadership newspaper, Nigerian press organization names building after Isa Funtua. President Muhammadu Buhari, ministers observe 1 minute silence at FEC meeting in honor of the late media icon. He will be remembered for supporting women. Aisha Buhari, APC governors, ACF, others pay tribute. To the national economy, ease of doing business. Nigeria inches closer to Africa's investment hub. Experts optimistic federal government's economic reforms will attract more investment. We'll be looking at that story shortly. And finally, on the front page of the News Direct, uproar as Ngige calls Faleke small boy at reps hearing. Nobody is above the scrutiny of the National Assembly. Lawan. Gentlemen, let's look at the story on the front page of the national economy, talking about the ease of doing business. Nigeria ranks 131 out of 190 countries, and it is said by the that Nigeria will be one of the top 10 countries with notable improvements, or is one of the notable countries with improvements with regards to the ease of doing business. And a lot of people are saying Nigeria is inching closer to being Africa's investment hub. Is that what you see? I'll start with you, Dari.
Well, Nigeria inching close to becoming Africa's business hub. It's an aspiration, as far as I'm concerned. It's a desire.
Is it?
I see it as a desire. But are we working towards it with all seriousness? Or are we just banking on these projections?
All right.
The projections, we must understand, comes with the fact that...
All right. Let's quickly take the conversation to Nia, because we are having some challenges with the audio there. Nia, let me throw the same question to you, talking about Nigeria inching closer to Africa's investment hub. And when you look at the indices for the ease of doing business, you look at starting a business, construction permits, getting electricity. When you look at all of these indices for which Nigeria is said to be inching closer to be Africa's investment hub, is that what you see, or is just an aspiration, as Dari said?
Yeah, good morning once again. You know, while we were reading out those statistics, I was smiling, and I said, it's only in my country that you are compelled to go and get certificate of roadworthiness when your roadworthiness for your car, when the road is not car worthy. It is very laughable sometimes when you see the statistics saying that we are investment destination. I think it should be the hardship of doing business should be the barometer to measure how difficult it is in this country. In every facet of infrastructure, power supply, there is no business in Nigeria that you don't generate your power, you generate your water, you create interlocking roads to your homes, you do virtually everything. You are responsible for your own security. In Senate times, government provide situations whereby your business thrive. But in Nigeria, reverse is the case. There is policy somersault, there is political interference, there is no clear-cut direction in terms of policies. We are just always moving towards the tide or again, always towards the tide. You can see what the business analyst said a few minutes. He said, by the time they open international airways, you will see that there will be more pressure on Naira. Now, the petroleum price has gone down. Our debit rate is going higher. Lagos-Ibadan road is on construction for years. The railway service on testing for over years. So how they come up with these statistics and some of these innuendos that we will become destination, sometimes might be a lot of us. But notwithstanding, we are not giving up this country. We hope that these statistics are not what they call audio statistics in P-square voice.
All right.
Let me say again that with what is on ground, it's only we are going to be fooling ourselves saying that there is ease of doing business, but I will tell you it is hardship in doing business in this country called Nigeria.
Let's bring the conversation to the studio, Dari. Hardship in doing business, that is what he says it is. Is that how you see it? And if that is what it is, how do we improve upon on this to perhaps make it easier for small businesses?
Yeah, like I was saying before the audio issue, I said the statistics you read out to me are aspirations. They are desires. Those who are saying this assumed that all things being equal, ceteris paribus, or if all things are equal, this is where Nigeria should be. But the question we should ask ourselves, are all things equal? Are the factors that would drive these aspirations, are they there? Like Nii said, look at our roads. When you have every other thing ready, assuming without conceding that every other thing is okay, but our roads are the way they are, and you produce goods in Lagos after getting your raw materials from the wharf here, then you have to move them to consumers somewhere in Sokoto or in Adamawa, and these are the roads your vehicles will pass. The goods that should be there in 3 days will end up getting there in 3 months. And then most of them are either expired or outdated. And then we say we are doing business with ease. Then let's take a look at electricity. The cost of production in this country is tripled, if not more, by what we have, how we have to power our own electricity and how power our industries and manufacturing units. So until and when we get all these things right, that's when we can begin to talk about ease of doing business as realistic people. That foreign agencies are rating us in this position or that is their perception of where we should be.
You think that they haven't, it cannot just be based on perception. They must have gotten certain data to, rank Nigeria where it is now.
Yes, they have their data. And they are not saying today we will become Africa's hub. Yeah. They didn't say today. They are giving us that soon. Sometimes they say in 10 years' time, in 2025, in 2035. They assume that things will normalize. They assume that we will wake up from our slumber.
And with the way things are now, is that what you see?
If we remain where we are, we won't get there. If we improve, maybe, just maybe. But if we remain where we are, those will remain dreams. They will remain mere aspirations and perceptions that will remain on paper forever. But the government can make use of this analysis, of these reports, to say, okay, they are saying if we get our acts right, we can move away from where we are. So if we make the best use of these reports, then Nigeria is a promising country.
All right.
We just don't have the people to drive these promises.
And we hope that the government is listening and it would look into ensuring that we drive all of this that has to be addressed. Thank you, Obani Akinwale. Thank you, Dario Dufowokom, for your time on TVC Breakfast.